This is a vehicle familiarisation, the Ford Transit tipper with the side lifter. On the approach to the vehicle, we'll bend down on one knee and check for any leakages underneath, say oil or coolant or that, when we're approaching it. First thing we're going to do, we're going to do a quick walk round check of the vehicle. Just looking for anything obvious, any new damage, anything like that. And just a quick walk round before we actually go into the vehicle itself. Everything seems to be in order here. We'll just unlock. Before we actually go into the vehicle, we'll just point out the seat adjusters. We've got adjusters here, height, back of the seat here, that'll raise it, and the front will raise. We've got a turner here for the backrest of the seat, and we've got the handle at the front which adjusts the seat back and forward. So we'll just get in. What we'll do, just adjust the seat, pulling it forward, locking it in, pressing the clutch down, making sure my foot can push the clutch all the way to the floor. The height of the seat seems fine for me. The backrest, I'll just push it up a little bit just to support my back more. I check the controls and reach all the controls perfectly. So I'm quite happy with that. Next we're going to check the mirrors. We've got the near side, we've got the off side. What we're going to check for is make sure they're set up for myself. So I need to turn the ignition on, open the window, mirror the cell. You can adjust them by pushing them at the top, at the bottom, left and right. Okay, so I'll set this mirror up for myself. What I need to see is up the side of the vehicle. The smaller mirror here is a wide view angle. That's not adjustable, it's just the main mirror is adjustable on both sides. That side seems okay for me. As I say, you've got a wider view there. What we're going to do now is go over the inside of the vehicle itself. So we'll just start off with the door panel. So we've got electric windows in this vehicle rather than the old wind down ones. We've got a juice cup holders here, air vents here. We've got the light switch here. We've got parking lights, off, dip and headlights. To get your rear fog light, which is there, you'd pull the switch out. Next to it you've got a roller switch, which is a height adjustment. If you've got weight on the rear and you've got your lights on, you would have to alter your height adjustment so you don't blind other drivers. Just down below, the light switch, we've got the reverse cutout. So once it's in reverse, you would use this cutout between 11:30 PM and 7 AM. Below that we have got a flick switch, which it tells you warning, body raised when lit. As a demonstration, I've just raised the back end of the vehicle up. It's highlighted the light and we'll put it down and it's put the light out. The next one down is the bin lifter activation. Put it on, it glows red. Remember and switch it off once you're finished. So next we move on to the steering column. In the centre we've got the horn and we've got two levers. The one is your window wiping lever. So if you push the end in, it'll squirt the windscreen and then it'll wipe 3 times. It'll delay for a couple of seconds, then it'll wipe for a 4th time. If you push it up one, it goes on to intermittent, then you've got 4 intermittent settings there on a roller. Then you've got first speed and your second speed. On this switch control here, the directional signals, if you push it up it'll flash 3 times, it'll cancel, but if you push it fully on, and by the time you've done your turn, the steering comes back and it cancels out. You've also got a set and a reset button on the end there, and you've got a menu switch there. Below that we've got stereo controls For the driver, volume up, volume down, mode and seek your channels. We move on to the centre display here. We've got a speedometer, we've got a fuel gauge, we've got a temperature gauge, and we've got a rev counter gauge. In the centre, that's just your mileage trip meter. So what we'll do, we'll actually put the key in and we'll turn the ignition on. You can see loads of lights come on here. So many go off. And so many will stay on. We've got warning lights on. Engine management, battery, oil level. We've got an information red light. And we've got this one here, which is your handbrake light. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to start the vehicle up. So I select neutral, the handbrake's on anyway. Vehicle started, the last light to go out was your oil light. So we should really only have one light on, which is your handbrake light, but we've also got an information light on. So your information light is actually driver's door open. So to get rid of that, we shut the door. So that's us, A-OK, everything good. We've only got the handbrake light on, so quite happy with that. We'll switch off again and secure the vehicle. What we've got above the steering is a wee glove box with a 12 volt feed in there for phone charging, whatever. Next to that we've got the digital tachograph here. If you don't know how to work it, you'd have to get on your line manager and you would need additional training for this auxiliary bit of kit here. Below that we've got air vents, and below that we've got an economy button, and we've got an ESP button, which is electronic stabilising program. We've got a hazard warning button, heated front screen. All these buttons are push on, push off, and the bottom one here is your beacons button. Remembering your beacons, you only use them when you're working, you don't drive about the countryside with them on. Next to that we've got the radio system. Next to that we've got another air vent and another 12 volt feed. Move on to the heating system now. We've got the 3 switches from blue to red, and we've got directional flow, and we've also got recycling and the fan button. What I'm going to do now is just set up the vents to actually demist the vehicle. So what we need to do is turn the vents on there, face it out towards the side window, same on this side, turn the vent and push it out towards the side window. You'll have it onto max, so it's going windscreen, you turn that one onto windscreen and then you would turn that onto max. What that would do, if you had a lot of condensation in the window, say you stopped and had your piece and it was wet, damp like today, your windows would be steaming up. So you turn these onto all windows and you start the van, leave it running a few minutes, it would demist the van quite quickly. Then you would alter it back to head and foot and turn the fan down. Next we've got the weighing system here. That's a bit complex, we're not going to actually cover that today, so if you want to know how the weighing system works, there should be a handbook in the vehicle, or ask your charge hand to get further training on how to work the weighing system. Next it's just a wee glove box here, and above that we've got another wee storage box with an auxiliary plug in it. Below that we've got the glove box with the handbook here, and also a bin lifter handbook there. Just moving on to this side, couple of cup holders, electric window. As you can see, no smoking permitted in this vehicle. We've got a fleet AA card. The only thing missing off the windscreen is the tax disc. As I say, it's a new vehicle, it's not actually on the road yet, so we don't have a tax disc yet. What we're going to do now is show you the height adjusters for the seat belts. As you can see here, push button, pushing it in and it slides up to your preferred height. Got to remember the seatbelt must sit across your shoulder and not across your neck. So if you are taller, put it up, make sure it's securely locked in, and then pulling the seat belt out across your shoulder. For the shorter people, dropping it down, clicking it in, same again. It sits right across your shoulder and not across your neck. The gears in the vehicle, it's a 6-speed box with a reverse. On the gear stick itself, just here, it's got a little collar. You'll have to pull up, push it across, push it up, and that selects your reverse gear. Okay, and then it's just a straight 6 box. What we've got in the back of the vehicle, being a crew cab, we've got another 3 additional seats here. As you can see, the seat belts are all plumbed in, so we need to be using the seat belts because it is a fixed penalty of £60 and 3 points. So what we're going to do now, we're actually going to go outside the vehicle and do some of the pre-start checks, which you should be doing. What we're going to do, open the bonnet, key in, to the left, to the right, hold it, and it releases the bonnet. Put the bonnet stay up. What we're looking at here, before we do any checks, we'll just explain the things with the yellow on them. One, that, dipstick, the coolant, okay, they should be checked. All your fluids should be checked every morning. So the first check you'll be doing under the bonnet is the oil. So you pull the dipstick out, give it a wipe off, you've got the minimum mark there, you've got the hatching up to the maximum mark. Put the dipstick back in, leave it a few secs, pulling it back out, and you can see the oil itself is actually right up at the maximum mark there. So that's the oil's good to go. Next we'll check the brake fluid, give it a wee shake, it's up at the maximum. Next we've got the power steering, it's just under the maximum. And then we're checking the coolant, so you're just at the maximum. And the screen wash, if you can see down the neck of the bottle, it's just there. All the levels are good. When you're checking the oil and the levels, the vehicle should be parked on firm level ground. The only way you would really get a true reading from the levels themselves. So we're just going to lower the bonnet down to about 6 inches and then drop it. Just checking it for security. Next check I'm going to do is the wiper blades. What I'm looking for, any tears or splits at either end of the blade. Just there and there, which is good. As I say, it doesn't have a road tax yet because it's not been taxed. Just checking the bodywork as we're going round the vehicle. Next we're going to down and we're going to check the tyres. We've got a few checks on the tyres and that themselves. I'm checking the sidewall for any damage, any cords being exposed with somebody hitting a curb, the tread wear and the tread depth. So that's looking quite good there. Can't check the wheel nuts because it's got a hubcap on it. So we're just checking round, checking the mirrors are intact, checking the bodywork. We'll just open the door. In the door pan itself, we've got a first aid kit here. What I'm going to show you now is actually the weight plate here. 3.5 tonne, second one down, 6 tonne is the gross vehicle towing weight, and that's the first axle and the second axle maximum weights. Moving along, next thing we're going to check the fuel cap. It says here diesel. Remember, don't try and put petrol in a diesel vehicle. Always think before you select the pump. Put the key in, turning it, and it comes out. As you can see, it's a certain size pump will fit into there. Putting it back in, turning it to your right to lock it, make sure it's secure, and then shutting the flap. Just checking around the rest of the vehicle. Just open the back door, having a look in. Checking the fire extinguisher here. It's a powder fire extinguisher, and the gauge is in the green, so that's okay. Next thing we're coming across, we've got a control panel here for your bin lifter. You've got a stop button, the emergency stop, you've got the up button and the down button. So moving on down, the red light's on, so the water should be getting warm. It's a wash hand basin for the guys working with the vehicle. We test there, the water in it, to make sure it's secure. So bin lifter switched on, go up, bin lifter all the way up, and then it's gravity on the way down. It is a wee bit notchy on the way down, but if it had the weight of a bin on it, it'd work no problem. So it's your lifter coming down. As I say, weight of a bin on it, it would work no problem. So that's it, right down, right up, press emergency stop, check it's working, put it up, it's not working, releasing the stop, up, and it's working. So put it back down, that's it there. Just moving on, round the rest of the vehicle, just checking the bodywork is complete, mudguards intact, checking the visual of the wheel nuts. Some of the vehicles will have wheel nut indicators. At the same time we're checking the sidewall of the tyre, checking the wheel rim, and checking the tyre tread and the wear on the tyres. We'll come round the back of the vehicle. Just checking tail lights intact, number plate. And we've got a tow bar on this vehicle. Making sure the R-clip's in the bottom because it's a sliding pin as well. Just rehook that up just to keep it safe rather than rattling about. Opening the back door of the cage, turning that up, turning the door into the back of the vehicle. When you're opening the doors, you pull the door right round, unclip the hook and actually clip it onto the side of the vehicle. So that's when you were tipping, securing the doors open. So just unclip that, clipping that back on, keep it safe, and closing the doors. Same on this side, and locking it in. Just check him. What I'll do, I'll get back, I'll check him between the wheels. As you can see, tyres are nicely inflated, and on this side they're nicely inflated. You've got to watch, you get inside punctures on twin wheelbase, the inside could be punctured. The telltale signs is the tyre could be bowed out down at the bottom, it could be near kissing the outer tyre. So that's the way you would check for that. Just walking around the rest of the vehicle, checking, same again, mudguard security, tyre tread, sidewalls, wheel damage, wheel nuts. As I say, tyre tread. Here what we've got, it's an electric pump for raising the back end of the body. So we've got a minimum oil mark, a maximum oil mark, and the oil sat just about 3/4. You don't fill it right to the top because you need expansion room. Because when the oil gets warm, we begin tipping up and down, the oil gets thinner and it will expand up the bottle. So that's us back round. Opening the door, just a visual check. If there's anything unsecure in the back, you would secure it. Same as any other vehicle, if there's unsecure items in the rear, get them secured just in case you got to brake in case of emergency and it comes up, it could hit you in the back of the head. Opening this door, wee final check in here, having a digital tachograph, you should check the plate is in date, and it was calibrated on the 30th of the 4th 2012. So that's in date because it should be calibrated every 2 years. Final check on the wheel, the tyre tread, side wall and the wheel. Okay, so that's just done a walk round check of the vehicle. The next thing we're going to do is actually check all the lights are working. So I need to put the key in, turn the ignition on, side, main, hazards, into reverse. You can hear the bleepers working, so we'll cut that out. We'll put the beacons on, and we're just going to walk round. No forgetting about the fogs. We'll just walk round and do a visual. The lights are all working. Indicator, indicator, side, headlights, same on this side. As you can see, you've got the beacons flashing away there. Got the top marker lights, repeater lamp there, marker light at the sides. We've got markers, indicators, reversing, fog and your tail lights. We've also got beacons at the rear of the vehicle. Same at this side, everything's working. The only light we can't actually test is your brake light. We'd need some assistance for that. Side markers are working, so we'll just switch all them off. If you had somebody else close at hand, you would actually get them to assist you with the brake lights. I don't have anybody here to assist me, so I get a stone and I jam it between the pedal and the brake light switch. Ignition back on, and we'll go round the back of the vehicle and just check the brake lights are working. Okay, that one there is the brake light. It wasn't working the last time. Same again here. So quite happy the brake lights are working. You can see the lights are still on there. The marker lights and the side lights. It's a new ruling. What they're called as daytime lights. On commercial vehicles they need to be running with daytime lights. So that's why these lights came back on. But this is the brake light, the one that I'm checking. So happy with the lights and everything's working. So just turn the ignition off, press the brake pedal, stone falls out, and that's my light checks done. So just lock the doors now, left hand click, and that's us just familiarised ourselves with the Ford Transit tipper with this side lifter.